걔한테 진로를 가질 라인이래. 저도 가질래서 가르쳐. 걔한 사람 다리 니만 지금 좀 사면 제사를 해.
Lord, to have your love. Thank you. नमस्कार। आज विशेष समाचार सिक्योंग डॉक्टर लोब्सांग संगे 2-3 केमियो यात्रा पर कल दोपहर के उनके मेयो आगमन पर चेबरिंग टिबेटन सेटलमेंट में उनका भव्य स्वागत हुआ। धन्यवाद।
Among 7 middle schools of the CTSA, this school, CST Miao, is the biggest school in respect of student strength. It was initially opened at Changlang district in 1962 by the Northeastern Frontier Agency administration, now known as the state of Arunachal Pradesh. This school was taken over by the CTSA later on, and however, in March 1976, this school was shifted to its present location, Miao, when the whole of the Changlang Tibetan settlement was shifted to this place in the economic interests of the settlers. Surrounding by hills and lush greens, forest and calm, as well as quiet, peaceful environment, this place is ideal for study. In 1963, there were 17 students from class 1 to 8, but the present strength of the school is 308 from classes 1 to 8, excluding pre-primary students, as the pre-primary wing has recently been handed over to the Sambota Tibetan School Society, CTA Dharmashala. Initially, the school had limited resources, but it is presently well equipped to impart quality education to the children. In addition to sufficient classrooms for children, it has separate rooms for different sections: headmaster's chamber, office, staff room, library, resource room, computer room, junior science room, MLL center, SUPW room, drawing room, music dance room, PT room, assembly hall, Tibetan reading room, etc. There are 15 number staff quarters too. The school is well secured by a boundary wall. The provision of independent drinking water supply is provided. Solution to the problem of water in the school. CST Miao is a school with highest number of students on roll among all the CTSA middle schools. In the primary section, we have 8 sections, and in the middle there are 3, totaling to 11. The school has a staff of 16, teaching and non-teaching, who provide quality education to the students and prepare personality development program for them. Eminent personalities keep visiting the school from time to time. His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, has paid 3 visits to the school. There is a cordial relationship between the parents and school, which leads to the smooth functioning of the school. The PT of the school is ever ready. The Parents-Teacher Association actively cooperates and participates in the matters concerning the development of the school. The administration has been providing ample funds to meet the needs of the school and its development. The school has been progressing leaps and bounds under the able guidance of the authorities. So, sir, once again, I thank you for sparing your valuable time here, sir. And we pray to the Almighty that you may get success in every walks of your life, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank
Good morning. Naru Dele. Namaskar. Additional Secretary from the Department of Home, Kasha, Department of Information and International Relations, and Joint Secretary from the same department. principal, teachers and staff members, settlement officer, representative of the assembly, cooperative and the local organizations. I'm very happy to be here at CST Miao. This is my third visit to the settlement and also interaction with the students. So I always feel quite happy meeting students, even though at this age they are less attentive to the speakers who come. Nonetheless, as a former student of CST, as stated by the principal, I always remain very grateful to all the teachers and staff members who helped me become who I am during my formidable years. My teachers, Indian teachers, Tibetan teachers, were very generous and very supportive of me. I still vividly remember Sir Prasad, who used to teach geography, but also used to take keen interest in co-curriculum activities, who helped me to become a speaker in the sense he always encouraged me to participate in debates in and around the town and district of Darjeeling. He was one of the keen teachers who always looked for opportunities so that Tibetan students could go and participate. So he was very active. And Mrs. Prasad was my Hindi teacher. And obviously I still remember, whenever I speak Hindi nowadays, I feel guilty because had I listened to Sir Gupta quite well, I could have been a better Hindi speaker. So he was a very good teacher. But one quote of Kabir I always remember, which he taught us with quite an enthusiasm. Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi, jo sukh mein sumiran kare to dukh kahe ka hoy. So he used to remind us of that quote. So I vividly remember Sir Gupta ji. But if I'm not mistaken, he's a little bit of, I think now I understand, he leans a little bit towards maybe Bharat more than India. He was because he always used to say, हाँ महात्मा गांधी जी तो जरूर है हमारा देश का पिता है और फादर ऑफ द नेशन है ही सही, मगर कई और लोग भी हैं, राम मनोहर लोहिया है, वैसे he used to name other great Indian leaders, maybe a little bit Hindu leaning leaders. So now I understand what he meant even during those days. He was a great teacher. Then all my Tibetan teachers, I still remember Miss Pamela, who used to make me stand like the students who got up and read Thought of the Day or the poems or the presentation. So each time from my class someone is missing, Miss Pamela used to always say, Lobsang, now you prepare for and get up and speak on that student's behalf. So maybe I was good at memorizing things. So I had to get up on assembly line maybe 3-4 times a year sometimes, so that I have to read the poem on their behalf. Somehow I managed to know 4, 5, 8 lines. So that gave me the confidence to speak, stand in front of people, and that helped me over time travel within India, and then obviously after going to the US, all across the world. Because now when I get up and speak, I become more of an extempore speaker. I just get up and keep saying things that I feel like saying, rather than prepare a text and go through the formal speech. So I owe that maybe skill to my teachers who always made me get up and speak. So our girl student who forgot her line, the thought of the day, should not think that she made a mistake. She did not. I think compared to other students, at least she was given the responsibility and she had the courage to stand and try as best as she could. And through mistakes, you learn, and through mistakes, you become stronger. So I wish all of them very, very best wishes. Especially whenever I see students standing, trying to read things and say things, I kind of have a close affinity to them because I kind of feel for them because I've been made to do that so many times during school days. So each time there was a debate competition, I was a junior speaker, then the senior speaker. I had to go to the Darjeeling town and compete with all the English medium school students. You know, St. Paul's, St. Joseph, Mount Hermon were very, very well-known schools. They paid very high fees, and we call them chicken-eating school because we don't get chicken in our school, you know. So they get chicken, so we say "Chashi Sangay Lobda Yorwa." So, but then during debates, you know, it's a fair competition. So whoever is best wins. So our school used to do quite well. We dominated the Darjeeling town for 5 years in a row, and I was the school representative for 2 years. Then I won the district level debate, the whole district of Darjeeling. Then went to Calcutta to represent the state of West Bengal also. So West Bengal has huge population, but I managed to go to the state level. The point I'm trying to make to all the students is that I grew up like one student read, like them in a small village, you know, spending my winter vacation in forest, things like that. So nowadays they don't clean cow dungs. I did. They have better privileges, better opportunities. Compared to our days, I think they are in much better shape. But, you know, they all have to put in the efforts because there is no shortcut in life. Everything is through hard work. One or two might get lucky, maybe win a lottery. But the rest of us, we have to work very, very hard. So without working hard, there is no shortcut in life. If someone thinks there is, then he or she will be sadly mistaken very soon. So you have to work very hard in life, especially now, when your schools, this is the time for education, this is time for studies. Because recently I have had the privilege of going to some of the schools where they celebrated 50th anniversary. CST Darjeeling, Simla, Dalhousie. And then I encountered several ex-students and I asked them how do they feel. Some said they feel very happy. Few said they feel quite sad as well. Happy, obviously, you're coming back to school after 10, 20, 30 years to see your classmates, to be reunited with your old students feels really good. But sad in the sense, they found some students of their class who they consider quite talented, maybe beautiful or handsome or well-dressed, but then they lost their ways and they found them to be in quite a bad condition. So when, let's say, the Thundup goes to meet Tenzing, and Thundup says, you know, I'm Thundup. And Tenzing says, but who are you? He says, don't you remember I was in your class? In fact, I was your desk mate. Then Tenzin looks at Thundup very carefully, suddenly realizes this handsome, dashing student of the class looks so horrible because he started drinking too much. And then now, and then misbehaved during school days and after days, lost their ways through gambling, through drinking, through drugs, through smoking. Then they lost their ways. Now, after 20 years, Tenzing does not recognize Thundup. When in fact, in class, in school days, Thundup was the better looking, the smarter kid, you know, the more handsome kid. So life is in some ways, many ways, precious, but at the same time it's complex and a lot of challenges are ahead. So unless you are strong within, you will face many hurdles along the way. So you have to have the determination to carry forward in life. So hope our students will have the determination, and then work very hard. There is no shortcut. You have to work very hard. Then only you become a better student, you become a better human being, then you become a better professional, and most of all, you become a better leader for the Tibetan people. And I was just sharing that nowadays Department of Education has initiated a lot of programs. I don't know whether it reaches here, but at least to secondary and senior secondary level, we have initiated a lot of programs, including we have changed the scholarship now. After class 12, those who have to go to college, before anyone who scored 70 and 75% in arts and science respectively, you get 35,000 rupees as a scholarship for the year. Now we have restructured it so it's incentive based. So harder you work, more you score, more scholarship you get. Now if you score 75% in class 12, you get 40,000. But if you score 80%, you get 45,000. Then if you score 85,000, you get 50,000. If you score 90%, you get 55,000. I think science has a little more money. Now we changed it and said, in the history of Tibetan schools, we never had any student who scored 95%. So we said, okay, anyone who scores 90%, you get 1 lakh. Lakhpati ban jaonge, you score 95%. So last year, fortunately, we got one student from Tibetan Homes Foundation who scored 95.4%. So she made history. And the last year, before that, we had only 4 students who scored 90%. Last year, we had 13 students. And then before that, we had only 242 students who scored 70 and 75%. Last year, we had 345 students. So there is an increase of 103 students. So that clearly shows that Tibetan children are also paying more attention to education. Tibetan teachers and Indian teachers are also being very diligent and very attentive to their children. Hence, they all are working hard, and the staff members of schools are also working very hard. So that clearly shows that last year we had 130 students who scored 80% and above. So this is by far the most. Perhaps I think there's more money now, people are studying more. That means still money is more important than the education, so people are going after money. With more scholarship, more you perform. So in some ways, overall, there is a drastic, dramatic increase in the performance. At the same time, there are a lot of work needs to be done, because I've been to many CST schools, and then I found the performance of CSTs need to improve quite a bit. I was told in CST Simla that the class 12 record holder is 80.8%. That in 50 years, that's the first time CST Simla had 80.8%. Now, as I told you, we had 130 students who scored 80% and above. And to have one student in 50 years of CST Simla who had 80.8%, that is also the topper for the school and the whole history of CST Simla. That means, we need to work a little bit more. So, as far as facilities are concerned, we will try to provide. We are doing the best we can. And here I think teachers and the staff members also need to pay more attention, and also the community as a whole. I've been making this request to the community leaders. They also have to pay more attention. As far as community is concerned, for example, the request has been there for several years to increase the school from class 8 to 10. But then the problem of CST Miao or Tiju and Tinsagang and some other remote places like Bandra and Orissa has always been not enough teachers come to our place because of remoteness. Now we can increase the standard of the school. That is not a problem, class 8 to 10. But if there are not enough teachers, then the quality will suffer. If there are not enough staff, quality will suffer. If quality suffers, then students suffer, then the community will suffer. So as far as administration is concerned, it's much more easier to increase the school from class 8 to 10. But the question is, does the community has the capacity? Hence, community responsibility is to make sure that now around, if I'm not mistaken, 795 students from this area, Miao Tuting, have been graduated from CST schools, have been educated in CST school. Of this, now a few hundred should come back as an administrator, as teachers, and in local leadership, and begin to serve the community. Then only you can sustain. As one student said, the three guiding principles of these kashas are unity, innovation, self-reliance. Self-reliance is at individual level, one should stand on his own feet. At a community level, one should train one own people from the area to join Tibetan administration and come back as CTA staff and leader. And join our Bunthar Tibetan Teachers Training College or Institute and get trained and come back as teachers. Then only you can be self-reliant. So we have institutional mechanism we are establishing. Now whether the human resources will be provided by the community and come back to serve the community is the challenge. So I hope the community leaders will keep that in mind. And also the teachers is very important. Why? Because my friend, the former chairman of CTSA, Apurva Chandraji, he told me actually after visiting some Tibetan schools, he realized that the average score of Kendra Vidyalaya or even Navodaya is 70% and above, 80%. CST schools are in 60% average. So now we have to increase the average because unless you score high, you cannot get a scholarship, you don't get admission to good universities. If you don't get admission to good universities, then you will get average degree. Then with average degree, you get average job. Then average job, you get average salary, and then you will be barely able to look after yourself, far less your parents, and then, most importantly, serve the community. So hence, teachers also have responsibilities because there's a saying which was also quoted by Honorable Minister Kapil Sibalji when we celebrated the 50th anniversary of CTSA. He said, good teachers are costly, but bad teachers cost more to the nation. Meaning, yes, good teachers are costly because it's expensive to pay a salary to good teachers. But bad teachers eventually cost more to the community and to the nation. Because once you close the door and start teaching to your students, if you don't teach well, day by day, in many sense, you are negatively affecting the student's life. Because the course he or she has to study, maths or science or arts or whatever, you teach poorly and the students learn poorly. And then that student might have an innate talent to be a great artist or a great scientist or a great mathematician, but if the teacher does not teach well, then it affects the student's life. Sometimes I do feel I was not a bad student, but then my skills, let's say for geography or some other courses could have been better, or science especially, physics, chemistry, biology. I'm quite bad now. Not that I was a bad student, but the teachers I have had, who taught me, were not that good. And I still remember their faces. I still do. So that's why whenever I'm asked to mention teachers' name, I mention all the good teachers and I don't mention my bad teachers, you see, because I somehow don't want to even recognize them. The point I'm trying to make is, even though students are young, even though they look innocent, but in their classrooms, they do know who are the good teachers, who are the bad teachers. And they will remember you forever. That is very clear. Because during my days also, I do remember because when we sit in the class, when the madam teaches, I remember in a class, she was teaching about lion. This one chapter. And I raised my hand and I said, Madam, what is lion? And she said, lion is lion. Bujana? Meaning, in Nepali she's saying, lion is lion. You didn't understand? Can you imagine? So she could have at least said, lion is the king of the jungle, things like that. But she was so poor in teaching that students just sat there make fun of her, and never listen to her, and always remember, throughout my life, she was not a good teacher. So even though students are young, when you close the doors and when you close windows, when others not looking, you can do what you want, but students will remember you forever and grade you accordingly. So I am very, very grateful to all the teachers who taught me well. Similarly, all the students will be very grateful to all the teachers who teach them well. And also they're saying the average teacher reads, they come to the class and read the textbook. And then the better teacher explains, not only they read the textbook but also explain. But then the good teacher not only explains but demonstrates through different means to trying to teach students. But the best teachers inspire students, you know. When they go home, they want to do the homework of that particular teacher because you're so inspired. Next day, you're curious to come to the class because you're wondering what that teacher might teach you or explain to you in different ways. So hence, you know, we all have to aspire to become an inspiring teacher. So I hope our teachers will take note, and I know you all are doing the best you can and trying the best you can. The time spent with Tibetan teachers and Tibetan schools are precious because Tibetan children are not only learning to have a career, but they are learning to serve a cause. So, you know, students have to put in extra efforts because you are fighting for a cause. The community leaders also have to put in extra efforts because you are fighting for a cause. The teachers also have to put in extra effort because you're not only teaching them for a career, but for a cause. So that's why I request all the teachers and staff members to be diligent, to work hard and teach our children well, and you all are doing, for which I am very grateful and I appreciate and applaud all your efforts. But do try to put in more efforts and so that our children can become better students and better leaders. One particular experience that I want to share, which I shared yesterday with the community also. I hope the class 10 students will not be blamed for this, but we had this class 10 students summit leadership in Dharamsala. So we invited around 10 students from each of the 32 schools. Altogether 311 students came. But particularly from one school, only 3 students came and 7 could not. Now, when we invited, this is 8 days program. We spend anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 rupees per student. So we put in, Department of Education put in a lot of efforts so that class 10 is very critical because after class 10 you go to class 11. So you have to choose your stream. Which stream you want to go, art, science and commerce or vocational. And then also you have to choose which school you want to go to. So we felt that class 10 is very important, so we invited 320 of them, of which now 9 students could not come, few because they were sick. But the other students who could not come, because they want to go home and be with parents. And the teachers and the staff members also sent them. And the parents also took them. Now that shows that there is lack of understanding among the staff members, the teachers, and the parents for the importance of education. Otherwise, this kind of opportunity, for example, see the TCB Selekwe, there were so many students who want to come. They had to do lottery. They choose the best and they had to do lottery, only then they could select 10. Other schools did the same. But one particular school, neither the teachers, the staff members, or the parents cared, and then they were missing. So they lost that opportunity, and my regret is that they might miss a lot of understanding now what kind of scholarships are available, what kind of courses, stream they should choose, what kind of school they should go to. All this advice and the guidance we are providing is missing, and it will affect them for the rest of their life. So that hopefully will not happen again. So that I want to impart, because there the staff members also have very big responsibilities. So now without saying much, I just want to once again thank the principal and the staff members and particular teachers for dedicating their life for Tibetan schools and Tibetan children. Because of you all, I am who I am, because I'm standing mainly because of the hard work of Tibetan as well as Indian teachers. The Tibetan leadership in the parliament, in the judiciary, in the executive, almost all of them are educated in Tibetan schools. So the people who are sitting here are also educated in Tibetan schools. That is the contribution made by all the Indian teachers, Indian staff, Tibetan teachers and Tibetan staff. So we owe a lot to all of you, for which we will remain forever grateful. And as far as the transfer of CTSA is concerned, as the Principal Ji just mentioned, as you know, I went through the bureaucratic process and requested all the ministries, and fortunately I have had the privilege of meeting many of the ministers, Kapil Sibal Ji, Shashi Tharoor Ji, Palam Raju Ji, and then Chidambaram Ji, and then also at MEA and the PMO. So all of them were in agreement that the school will be transferred, and then finally the CTSA put up the request and the cabinet note was issued. So in the Indian cabinet presided by the Prime Minister, the transfer of school was unanimously decided and approved. Hence the cabinet note was issued. Now as per the cabinet note, we are trying to draft a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, how the modalities on how to transfer, which is taking some time because it's not as easy as we thought, because there are a lot of complexities, a lot of lands, a lot of buildings, a lot of files, because we just had this pilot case of all the pre-primary, I think 44 pre-primary and 4 primary schools were transferred. And we are just going through the procedural mechanism of how we took the transfer of the schools and going through all the documents, making sure, because I was told that in some schools, buildings are in the map, but there are no buildings, you see. And then there are so many chairs and so many tables and so many things. It's there on the record, but there are none. So how, and then the lease issue is also there. So we are going through all, and once we have a better understanding of through this pilot project, then we remain hopeful that the transfer project will happen. Someone filed a case in the West Bengal High Court not to transfer the school, but you might know the case was dismissed by the High Court. So it looks like not only the Indian government, but also the Indian judiciary court is also with us in transferring the school. So I've been making this initiative because this is a project which has been going on for 30-some years. Now the cabinet note has been sanctioned, and cabinet note, I was told by relevant bureaucrat, also is sacred. No one can reverse the cabinet note, only the cabinet can reverse. Now even the court has not decided on this. Court could have postponed the transfer, but they could not have stopped the transfer, because now the court has dismissed the case, and we will proceed on. It takes time. I'm quite familiar with India. I have a lot of friends in the Indian bureaucracy also now, and Indian ministry. They're very, very supportive, but very, very careful. Noting system it has to go through all the way up and then come down. मैंने कहा क्या हो रहा है? अरे noting system से चल रहा है, ऊपर जा रहा है, नीचे आ रहा है. So I'm very grateful to all my Indian friends. But then I realized that it takes time. I also realized after serving 2+ years in the Tibetan administration, our system is also quite like Indian system. You know, when I want a decision to be made, it goes through, and I say, where is it? It's going through. The noting system is going and coming. You know, so time thoda lagega, magar I think eventually it should happen. Having said that, I initiated this transfer of school, not of any kind of negative feeling towards anyone. None at all. None at all. I made the case to the Indian government. They all agreed. I said all the Indian teachers and Indian staff members, those who choose to stay in this CST, they can stay with the same benefits, same salaries, nothing changed. Why? Because we are very grateful to them and we want them. At the same time, those who choose to get transfer, as Principal Ji said, to transfer to your district, home district, if you join Kendriya Vidyalaya, Navodaya, there are better chances that you'll get a home district than be in Miao when your home is in Andhra Pradesh. So we say we also convince the HRD that the transfer should be also more flexible, so that all the Indian teachers, staff members, those who want their transfer to be in district, they should be given the choices. So I was told maybe the first transfer will go to some places, but eventually they will be transferred to the district, home district. Hope that happens. We're also making the case to the Indian government, and their benefits and salaries and seniority should remain the same. Now, whether that they will agree or not, I don't know. But from our side, what we are saying is all the Indian teachers, their seniority, their benefits, salaries also should remain the same. Now, I was told that in Kendriya Vidyalaya, they have also teachers organization, they are also staff organization, they have their views. But from our side, we are making sure that everybody's interest is taken care of. And all the Tibetan teachers who they don't have choices, they don't have choice, they have to stay on, they also will be taken care of as before. So those things we are making. Now, it will take some time, and then we are mainly, the transfer is because we are saying, we've been in exile 50 years. So it's time we should stand on our own feet and then, do the best we can. Having said that, we will always need Indian teachers, staff members, and you all are always welcome to come and teach. That is there. So this initiative is without any drop of negative feeling. This is all positive. It's a win-win proposition. So this I want to share. So because I know staff members would like to meet me. फिर जब मेरे को 10 मिनट से बात हो, आजकल जहाँ भी जाता हूँ यहाँ पे 10 मिनट separate I meet with them, and they always ask the question, transfer हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है, कब हो रहा है, So I think this is the story, and hopefully when it happens, we'll do it smoothly. We'll do smoothly. If you have any issues or grievances or anything, do let us know. I will also put forward to the Indian government, and whether now election is coming, whether Congress party stays or the new party comes, whoever comes, because I have always maintained good relationship with all the parties. You might know I've had meetings with Advani ji, Murli Manohar ji. In the BJP circle also I've met. And Aam Aadmi is new, but I know few people, professors from JNU, Anand Kumar ji and all, they are also in the Aam Aadmi. So normally Sharad Yadav, you name anyone in the Indian leadership, I've always met with them. So whether there is a change of government or not, should not make any difference. So this I believe, but then I'll keep working hard, and it seems few have some issues, that's why they are filing the case, which should not be, but the court has also dismissed the case now. So hopefully it will happen. And while you are here, please take care of your students and teach them as though you are here to stay. Because it's a matter of apna karam hai, apna dharam hai. So this is my request. So with that note, once again, it's great to be here in CST Miao, and good to meet with all of you. And I will come back again and see you all soon. Thank you very much.
Now at last, may I request our senior most teacher, Sharma sir, please come upon and propose word of thanks.
Most Honorable Dr. Lobsang Sangay, Sikyong, CTA Dharamsala, Honorable Dundudur Jila, Department of Home, CTA Dharamsala, Settlement Officer, Shri Dawa Sultimra Dakpala, and other dignitaries from CTA Dharamsala as well as from the settlement. Good morning, Tasi Dile, to all of you. Sir, I am here to extend my vote of thanks to the Honorable Sikyong CTA Dharamsala for sparing his valuable time besides busy schedule to be with us, to our students, as well as staff. Sir, this is my proud privilege to see you in CST Miao first time, sir. This is my first time when I saw you. Sir, I do hope that you have taken a right decision in right time for the betterment of the community, for young generation. And I do hope that certainly this young generation will fulfill the dreams of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in coming future, sir. I thank you very much, sir. I also extend my thanks to Dandu Dorjila coming over from Dharamsala to CST Miao. Sir, I also extend my thanks to you, sir. I also extend my hearty thanks to the settlement officer, Sri Davasultimla, for including your visit to CST Miao in his program, sir. I thank you very much, sir. I also extend my thanks to all the PTA members as well as my colleagues for beautiful presentation, and PTA members for extending full cooperation as and when needed by the school for making the visit successful. Thank you very much, sir. And last, I would like to extend my thanks to each and every one of you for making the visit successful of Sikyong City Dharamsala. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.